Every single night, we all go on this incredible journey. We spend hours in a world that our own minds create. A place where, yeah, we can fly, or we talk to people we've lost, or maybe we find ourselves running from something we can't quite see. Dreaming is this universal thing we all do. And for pretty much all of human history, we've been asking the same question. What does it all mean?
But what if they're not just random brain static? What if your dreams are actually a language, a really complex language your subconscious is using to talk to you? And if we could just learn to translate it, well, who knows what we might find out about our deepest fears, our hidden desires, and maybe even our true potential. Okay, let's really get into this.
Trying to figure out our dreams isn't some new thing. Not at all. It's actually one of the oldest intellectual quests humanity has ever been on. It started with us looking up to the heavens for answers, and eventually it led us to look deep, deep inside ourselves. And boy, has our thinking on this changed over the last, 3,000 years. If you go way back, the ancient Egyptians were convinced dreams were direct messages from the gods. Then you've got the ancient Greeks who kind of brought it back down to earth, saying, hey, maybe dreams are just connected to our health and what we worry about every day. But the real earthquake happened in 1900. Sigmund Freud comes along and says dreams aren't a map from the heavens, they're a map from the hidden corners of our own minds. Then his student, Carl Jung, he zooms the camera out even further, suggesting our dreams plug us into this huge network of universal symbols shared by every human ever.
And that big shift is what created the modern psychological perspective. This idea that our dreams are a direct, if, a bit weird and symbolic peek into our subconscious. It's the playground where all our hidden thoughts, feelings, and dramas get to come out.
So, is that really all it is? Is dreaming just this elaborate, nightly monologue where our mind sorts through the day's junk, tries to solve problems, and maybe confronts some feelings we've been ignoring? Well, that very question set the stage for two of the biggest, most influential theories in all of psychology. And this brings us to the two heavyweights, Freud and Jung. For Freud, it was all about wish fulfillment. He saw dreams as the secret theater where all our repressed, maybe even shameful desires could finally get a spotlight, just in disguise. I mean, this was revolutionary. It reframed dreams as being intensely personal, a royal road to our own hidden baggage. But Jung, he saw something totally different. He believed dreams were more like a form of inner guidance, using a shared symbolic language to nudge us toward becoming better, more complete versions of ourselves. And that symbolic language he talked about, it's built on what he called archetypes. Just think of them as universal characters or plot lines, like the hero on a quest, the scary shadow figure, or the wise old man who shows up with advice. Jung's whole point was that these figures pop up in myths, legends, and our dreams, across every single culture throughout history, because they're basically hardwired into our shared human software. And what's so cool is that modern neuroscience can actually show us what's happening inside our heads to make all this possible. When we're dreaming, our emotional centers, like the amygdala, are just firing on all cylinders. Same with the parts of our brain that manage memory. But at the exact same time, the logical, rational part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, it basically takes a nap. This unique brain state is the perfect storm for processing really intense emotions and making these creative connections that our logical, awake brain just can't handle. Okay, but for a lot of people, dreams feel like so much more than just psychology and biology, right? Some experiences are just so vivid, so real, that they make you wonder if dreams might be a gateway to something beyond our own skulls, maybe even a glimpse into other realms of consciousness. I mean, think about it. You've got lucid dreaming, where you suddenly realize you're dreaming and can actually take control. People report having out-of-body experiences, or dreams that feel like they're predicting the future. And maybe the most powerful of all, visitation dreams. These incredibly vivid, comforting encounters with loved ones who've passed on. These kinds of experiences, they really challenge the idea that it's all just happening in your head. A character from one of our sources, a dragon named Zoran, puts it this way, and I love this quote. Dreams are not mere figments of the mind, but powerful visions that can shape your reality. They are the whispers of your soul, guiding you towards your true purpose. See, that view frames dreams not as old data to be processed, but as this living, breathing guidance from something much deeper. So we have these two huge, powerful camps, the psychological view and the spiritual view. And for centuries, they've pretty much stayed in their separate corners. But now there's a new tool on the scene that might just be able to bring them together: artificial intelligence. Just imagine for a second, what if you could take your dream and feed it into a system that hasn't just studied Freud and Jung, but but has also digested thousands of cultural myths, spiritual texts, and a gigantic database of dream reports from people all over the world. Well, that is exactly the promise of AI. And the way it works is actually pretty amazing. So you just describe your dream, the symbols, the feelings, what happened. The AI then instantly scans it for patterns and themes. Then it cross-references all of that against this massive library of knowledge, everything from Jungian archetypes to ancient myths. And the result you get back isn't just one simple answer. It's this rich, multi-layered analysis, giving you a bunch of different ways to look at what your dream could mean, all tailored specifically to you. And this is where you can really see the difference. A human therapist is fantastic, but they might be an expert in one specific framework, like Freudian analysis. The AI, though, it can look at your dream from a Freudian, a Jungian, a mythological, and a cross-cultural perspective all at the same time, and give you an answer in seconds. Plus, over time, it can actually learn from your personal dream history and start spotting patterns that you might never, ever see on your own. So look, whether you lean more towards the psychology or the spirituality or maybe this new tech stuff, the goal is always the same. It's to turn these nightly movies in our heads into a source of real wisdom that we can actually use in our day-to-day lives. And the great news is, you can start this tonight. It's super simple. The first and honestly most important step is to keep a dream journal. Just the act of writing your dreams down tells your brain, hey, this stuff is important. Then, before you go to sleep, just set a little intention to remember what you dream. And during the day, think about it. What emotions came up? What symbols? If you do this over time, you'll start to see the patterns. You'll start to learn the language of your own subconscious. When it comes right down to it, our dreams are this incredibly profound, personal, and powerful resource. And it's available to every single one of us, for free, every single night. The only question left is, are you ready to start listening?